Hi, my name is Ernice. For all those out there who are joining in to hear about my initiative, which is going to be called Black Excellence Saturdays. It's an idea that basically has stemmed from all that is going on in the social justice world, all of everyone trying to become involved in protesting and making this long-term protest sustainable. So social media has really given us the opportunity to see what's going on across the nation and across the world. A lot of the stories about police violence and police brutality has slowly chipped away at our faith that we have in the system. The more we know about all that's going on across the nation, the quicker we find out about it, the more we have stopped, functioning as business as usual. Um, Over the past few years, I feel like we, as a generation, a younger generation, even older generations, have begun to, experience all the events that the police have been involved in killing innocent and unarmed citizens, as men and women. And that really has reached, this boiling point where finally everything is just boiling over, and people's anger and anxiety and stress are really turning into some action items. Um, since Ferguson, for me, I know personally the aspects of Mike Brown's death really pushed me over the edge because the way they tried to vilify him as a victim in order to prove that Darren Wilson wasn't guilty and that he was justified in killing him. Coupled with what went on in Staten Island with Eric Garner, and for me, seeing someone who died on a video, it just does something to your spirit that you really can't control. You really can't even fathom that this actually just happened to you. And so you have all of these stories that surround all of these officers and the history of police brutality on citizens. And now it's just come to a point where we have decided enough is enough. And through the changes that have happened and everyone being more active, not one dime was created. That hashtag was created, and an economic boycott was started by Raheel Tesfamariam, the founder of Urban Cusp. She's the founder and publisher, and her initiative was basically started to tell people not to spend on Black Friday. And despite the media's attention, making reasons or stating that the reasons why there was 11% decrease in the amount of sales on Black Friday was all of these other factors that weighed into it, when in reality it was really people staying home and not participating. And so now we're here at a point where we have to make this last forever. We can't just go back to we're upset, we're angry, we do a few things here and there, and now we're just going to go back to the way things are. Black Friday proved to us that we really do have a strong economic power to really make decisions and influence policy that will benefit all of us. And one of my favorite people in the world, Dr. Carr, began to tweet out after we decided that we were going to protest on Black Fridays by not participating in the market, that we support Black businesses every Friday. And so the idea of Black Fridays actually meaning something different than the day after Thanksgiving, as well as Black December, started to kind of spur up. And that discussion started to gain some traction, and people started asking, okay, what Black businesses are in my community? Where can I find a Black nail shop? Where can I find a Black doctor? Where can I find a Black cleaners? And people really started becoming really vested and really interested in supporting Black businesses. And so his words definitely inspired me to create an initiative offline and to take this movement on the ground and in our communities all over the country. It's easy to buy things online, and I think that's good because it's easy for people who don't have time to get out and shop. But at the end of the day, it's more than just buying something and supporting Black businesses. It really is about building that community and that network and ensuring that everyone in our community knows that we have your back, we're here to support you, and that we have a power that really becomes influential when we all get together and work together. So, my goal is basically to find a way to help sustain this financial movement, to take it national, and to really make sure that everyone's being held personally accountable. Like, I can say, yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but it may not work for you in your town, in your community. A different day, a different concept, a different idea may work for you. But my goal isn't really to tell people what to do. It's really to just empower people to do something that makes a difference, that will essentially make this a sustainable movement and a sustainable lifestyle, that creates a lot of change over a long period of time. Um, I feel like we have to shift our mindset and begin to engage even more in our communities. A lot of us live in a community, but we work in a different community, and we shop in a different community. We go to church in a different community, and all of those aspects kind of have broken down the sense of community, where I guess the original thought process. So at the end of the day, everyone is looking for a centralized leader, someone to speak out and tell us, okay, this is what the Black agenda is. This is what we're going to do over the next few months, over the next few years. And in reality, we can't sustain a movement that way. One, it's extremely dangerous to have one person as a leader. And we've seen that happen in decades before. When you lose a Martin Luther King, you lose so much hope, you lose so much purpose, because you feel like, okay, this person who was speaking for us, who was doing so much for us, is now gone. And for that, we feel lost. But if we empower enough people to individuals to actually be active, no one person will stop this movement. A person who decides they don't want to be a part of it anymore, if someone passes away, it will continue to work. And I think it also takes a lot of pressure off that one person, and so they don't feel as if the whole world is depending on them. That one misstep, one mistake, or one bad decision would take away from the overall cause that we're working towards. So I think we all have to really stop focusing on what we can't do and really focus on what we can do, because many of our communities have very unique issues. I've never lived in a food desert per se, but I know many people in various communities across the country live in food deserts. So that may not be an issue that I can work on, but that's an issue that someone in that community who's there, who understands and has ideas, can actually work on. The goal of this initiative is support businesses that are Black owned, that support our communities, that invest in our communities, and essentially that are going to sustain our communities. A lot of people who build businesses in Black communities don't live in those communities. They don't go to church in those communities, and they don't invest in those communities. And so we want to get back to a place where we really are connected completely with those who actually build businesses in our communities. And so through this, and I say we as me, myself, and 50 of my friends, some of my family, hopefully more people as we get the word out, are going to connect with each other and help find 3 Black-owned businesses in their respective cities every month. The goal is to find an eating establishment or bar or lounge type of place, a business that provides a good or a service, and then a cultural or health focus or community service activity. The goal is then to bring a lot of attention and basically create a centralized marketing plan to market those 3 business or activities in those cities and encourage participation on the designated Saturday of the month. So for example, if we decide it's going to be on the 3rd Saturday of the month, all activities will be on that Saturday in all of the cities across the country. And our goal is to do this for 12 months. Even though it sounds like a long-term goal, it really essentially is going to be a short-term goal because it's only once a month. We're only really doing this once a month. But our goal as in doing it for 12 months is that eventually it becomes a lot more subconscious. We're not really saying, okay, I'm going to support a Black business. You're really just saying, oh, I'm going to support the business I've been supporting for the past 12 months, or a business that I know someone supported who said they had good service or had a good experience with over the past few months. The goal is not really for us to make reservations as one group, but for each person who's involved to bring their family and their friends, and have their family bring their family and their friends. And basically it's more of like a domino effect. Like, it's not just one group of people getting together at one time, but different large groups of people coming and supporting that specific business or activity. The goal is also really to begin to network with each other, to talk to people, to, build those community connections, to share everyone's side hustle and all the things that they're doing that could actually, be of service to other people. And Like I said, I think I've been saying that a few times, really just to rebuild those community connections in person, and have knowledge of the businesses in the community and those who are maybe able to help you in your own personal ventures. Um, And once we do all this over the next few months, of course, of the first month, it may be small, maybe only right now, I think we're at 11 states and 20 cities or something like that. And so it may be small for, maybe 5 people in one city, 10 people in one city. But as the movement grows, as we begin to do social media campaigns and people begin to see pictures and it picks up, it'll eventually grow. And the goal is not really to make this an organization or a nonprofit, it's really just to make this our lifestyle. Like this is what we're doing as a generation to make sure that this movement is sustainable. So I think over the next few weeks, over the next few days, my goal is to connect with as many people as possible in cities across the country to get ideas for businesses that they know are good, are quality, that are Black owned, or minority owned, or women owned. Definitely want to focus on Black owned, but all of those other subjects, I mean, eventually some people may feel in their community they don't have as many Black owned businesses. So we would still want to focus on minority owned businesses, businesses owned by women, and really begin to focus on that. So um, for me, I guess where I feel like I need everyone's help in is getting those businesses. I feel like in DC, it's not easy, but it's a little bit easier because there are a lot of popular Black owned businesses, a lot of areas where there are a lot of Black owned businesses. But we definitely still want to reach out to, Largo and Upper Marlboro and Lanham and other parts of the city that have Black owned businesses that may also need our support. One of the things that I want to, I guess, be cautious, and that's why I want to create a centralized list, is to really ask those people if they want to be marketed as a Black owned business, because some people may not want that. And we definitely don't want to, take away from someone's business by marketing them as something that they don't want to be marketed as. So that is going to be, my goal is to basically contact these businesses, make sure that that's okay with them, make sure that our support is something that they're interested in receiving. And then once we get that support, just kind of moving forward and even using their social media sites to kind of promote the thought. I wrote a little bit more about it on my blog, and I added some pictures. One of the parts of the concept of Black Excellence Saturdays is to also dress up, and not really for the community service activity, maybe not, because it may be something that involves, hard work, or, something that you can't really dress up for. But the supporting the other two types of businesses, I think dressing up is important because we have become a very casual generation. And my grandmother says that all the time, like, you always have on jeans, you always have on sweatpants. Like, there's nothing sacred, there's nothing special about, going somewhere. And so dressing up just really would signify to us that this is important. It really, signifies a level of importance, a level of dedication. And it just always you feel good when you look good. And you also compliment more people when you look good. And so the goal is to really get us in that mindset of breaking down those barriers of being in a room with someone and not speaking, seeing someone and not speaking, but actually getting back into that process, saying, you look nice today, and building, that being a way to break the ice and really just start a conversation and to, ask people why they're here, or why they support this business, or how many times have they been there, and build conversations based on that. And so, dressing up is not a requirement for going, but it's just a suggestion that I think is fun. It's always exciting for me and my friends. For some of the pictures when we dressed up for Easter Sunday, it was just an exciting thing to get together and to be so fancy, and you acted fancy and you just felt fancy. And I think that's just what our goal is, to kind of get back to an era of where everything we did when we really went somewhere, it was worth going to. And so everyone who I think I've contacted who's probably watching this has my email. If not, it's Irma Denise, IRMADENISE @gmail.com. That's my email. If you guys have suggestions, if you are in Chicago, Cleveland, I have some contacts in Miami, but I'm looking for more. We have some contacts in Houston, DC, New York, Atlanta, LA, Vegas. And so those are the cities that we pretty much working in right now, but any city can be a part of this, and any part of the city can be a part of it. And so we just want to make sure that everyone feels included and empowered and encouraged to participate. There are no real restrictions. This isn't my movement. This isn't personal. This is just something that I'm spearheading, but I really, really, really need everyone else's support. And so pretty much that's all that I was talking about tonight. This isn't really a long conversation. Um, there is a way to have a group chat on the side of this conversation. If anyone is interested, or you can email me suggestions, you can send them through Facebook, you can send them through Twitter at Destin Nurse. I have a Tumblr page, Black Excellence Saturdays, and you can follow me there. So that's all that this was about tonight, really just to express the concept of Black Excellence Saturdays, why it's important to me, why I feel like this is something that could really help us as a community, as a generation, in sustaining this protest, in an economic form. And I think that's all I had to share. I'll stay probably live on the group chat, or comments can be posted under the event if you would like. This will also go to my YouTube page, which is basically just my name. And so if you wanted to share there or post comments there, I'm also taking comments. So thank you guys, for those who are out there watching, and for those who end up watching later. I definitely appreciate you listening, and even taking any interest in my idea. I hope that this goes somewhere and it becomes great. As small as it's starting, I really feel like it can be something major. So thank you guys, and I hope everyone's having a great week, and have a great night.